Right, Honourable Speaker. Maybe for the comfort of colleagues, you didn't even call me as L.O.P. Normally, when you call me, people think you're going to close debate. But you promised us that you're going to avail adequate time.
That's why I called you as Honourable Ssenyonyi. The end is L.O.P.
There you are. The debate is still on, as you did promise. Honourable Speaker, a couple of issues that have concern with the budget process that we're handling and with specificity, the budget framework paper. Domestic arrears have been alluded to by colleagues. Right now, the amount is 14.6 trillion shillings. This is money that government owes to the people of Uganda. Suppliers, those that have done work for government, contractors, pensioners, and so on and so forth. Government many times actually does not want to add this figure to our total debt burden. I remember last time we had some pettifogging here with the Minister of Finance. They are so convinced this figure should not be part of our debt burden. But you see, government, when somebody does work for you, when somebody provides a service, and you have agreed on a particular amount of money and you have not paid them, you owe them. That's a debt. And I would like government to begin to take it that seriously. Maybe that's why they don't even factor it in a great deal, because this year they're providing about 200 billion shillings. But we're talking about a backlog of 14.6 trillion. Maybe when you begin to consider it as a debt is when you begin to attend to this money.
Maybe Honourable Ssenyonyi, for the record, which they corrected earlier, the one of Bank of Uganda has been cleared. We are now remaining with 5.
Honourable Speaker, we are waiting for clarity, because again, it was raised to say they have told us they have cleared this, but there has been no ascertainment. So government will need to ascertain that to us. Because truthfully, many times they tell us we have done this. Sometimes you say, government tells us we have sent money for capitation grant, and then members across, they say, but the money hasn't reached. So we shall need that to be ascertained. But the critical point is that this money should begin to be considered as part of our public debt. Let's pay these ordinary people. You are so quick in paying these foreign investors and so on. These are our ordinary people who are buttressing our economy. Can we pay these people? Honourable Speaker, I am also concerned that we have not allocated money for Kitezi landfill victims. I don't know why government does not care about its people. Attorney General, let's not wait for these people to go to court, because they suffered this catastrophe as a result of negligence of government officials, and that's why some have been taken to court. Let's, in fact, don't even look at it as paying because, well, it is, but can we care about our people? They lost their loved ones. Right, Honourable Speaker, some of these people have not had the bodies of their loved ones recovered, because government reached a particular cap and they said, we cannot trace any more bodies. And I remember there is one man who lost his wife and child. I saw him making an appeal on TV. He said, can government allow us to carry out a funeral service here so that they can have closure? Because he had not up to now recovered the remains of their loved ones. Let us care about our people. This was an emergency. It should have been considered very critically, especially because it was as a result of negligence of government, because these people had their homes neighboring this landfill. Government didn't take care of it, and the catastrophe happened. Let's pay them. Let's take care of these people. Honourable Speaker, maybe relatedly, over 10 years ago, there were people occupying the Naguru Nakawa estate. Government came up with a grand idea after somebody approached them and said, we want to put up a satellite city here in that area. It's actually in my constituency. So people were evicted. In the night, they were crying with their staff. Some went back to their villages and so on. And government told them, don't worry. In a few months, there's going to be apartments built here. You are going to be the first beneficiaries, you. So some of them waited. Many have since died until tomorrow. That did not happen. Government promised that, okay, we are going to shoulder this burden, this inconvenience, and the amount that was agreed upon about 7 or 8 years ago was 17.9 million shillings for each of these households. Up to now, these people have not gotten that little money. Mr. Finance Minister, 17.9 million shillings of 8 years ago is not even the same today. So the longer you take to clear this money, the lesser it becomes because of inflation and many other factors. I don't know why we don't capture these things and we take care of these people. When you make a promise, when you make a pledge, fulfill it, because government said we have inconvenienced you, we are sorry, the apartments we promised you have not come, let's pay you. But those people are always crying. They have not gotten their money. Why? And yet it's not much money. Honorable Speaker, we have talked severally about healthcare. I'm glad that even the majority report is capturing these issues, because some of these matters are not even partisan in nature. Each of us wants good healthcare in our constituencies. Because as you know, any of us, you could be deep in your constituency and you get a medical emergency. While you have resources that can take you to whichever good health facility in this country and abroad, at that time, you need emergency attention. And the nearest will be that health center 3, that health center 4. As we did see it happen to one of our colleagues in Kanungu. He had to be taken to that health center. Can we attend to them? So when we talk about these issues, it's not political. It's for the good of all of us. So our hope is that we will pay attention. Mulago is our national referral hospital. First of all, even the 27 or more beds, ICU beds as we were told, are not adequate for a national referral. But only 15 of those are functional. These matters should concern us. For me, this is a national tragedy, that your national referral has got 15 functional ICU beds. I thought COVID taught us something, that a medical emergency can happen. It should find us ready. Honorable Speaker, I had a constituent who eventually passed on at the Uganda Cancer Institute. A few times I would frequent it. You'd find people sleeping outside, including patients, outside the Uganda Cancer Institute in the cold. Surely, government, let's care about our people. I don't know how we can overemphasize this matter. And I found many people, each time I would go to visit, people would tell me, please help us, please help us. They would be outside in the cold, including patients. This should concern us. Honorable Speaker, we have got a challenge that I have raised here severally about government tax exemptions. I think that the Ministry of Finance needs to put an end to these uncontrolled tax exemptions. They are problematic, they happen so wantonly, and they are abused. Now, does that mean that any serious jurisdiction cannot have that as a policy? Of course not. But we have refused to do this in an orderly manner. Honorable Speaker, as I mentioned, the Minister of Finance here, Minister of State for Finance, General Duties, the Honorable Musa Asizi, promised us, when I raised this matter last year, that by the end of last year they will come to Parliament with a comprehensive taxation policy. We are now in 2025. Where is that taxation policy? Because it would guide, it's not, a taxation policy is not limited to the new taxes you're introducing. It includes things like how you get to exempt, who warrants an exemption and that kind of thing. I don't know why that taxation policy has not come. And yet, you committed to bring it. I know the excuse you'll give is this year we're not introducing new taxes. No, we are planning for the future. But also because these tax exemptions are abused severally. Can we have a clear policy so that we know it applies across the board? So that it is not people who are friends with the minister or whoever who will get an exemption. Let it be clear. And relatedly, Right Honorable Speaker, the question of bailouts has also been abused. I did, together with colleagues, visit Atiak Sugar Factory that's been given 553 billion shillings. We visited Day Biopharma that has been given 723 billion shillings. We went to Rocco that's been given about 265 billion shillings and others as bailouts. And we have said, look, a bailout is something government can do, but let it be properly organized. Let there be a policy so that Ugandans who are struggling, Ugandan businesses, they know this is how I can apply to be considered. But now nobody knows. It is a few people who obviously should be connected that get to have taxpayers' money. Why? Because then people will keep accusing you, Honorable Musasizi, to say those who are getting bailouts, either you are a shareholder in those companies, as ministers and so on. Why do you not have a clear policy so that people know anyone that is hard up, I am employing many Ugandans, I should be able to access so that it is fair. I hope that that can come together with the taxation policy. This bailout policy needs to come. Second to last, right, Honorable Speaker. As a country, we need to become a lot more aggressive against the fight against corruption. We need to become a lot more aggressive than we are. We lose 10 trillion shillings per year, according to a report by the Inspectorate of Government. 10 trillion shillings. That's a third of what URA collects. So just think about it. URA collects money, taxpayer money, and a third of it is stolen. This is grotesque, to say the least. I hope that we can become a lot more aggressive. Because, you know, whenever we say, can we deploy more money here or there, government says we have limited resources. If we dealt with some of these bad manners of ours, like corruption, the money will be available. Imagine 10 trillion shillings. How many health centers can that build? How many seed schools? How many roads can be worked on? We need to become a lot more aggressive. We need to make corruption risky. Honorable Speaker, in countries where corruption is not as prevalent as it is here, it's not because they are morally upright or they are very good people. No, their systems have made it risky for people to steal. We need to do that here. Otherwise, we'll keep singing the same songs again and again. Finally, right, Honorable Speaker, and this really is for record purposes, when the budget framework paper is being handled by the sectoral committees, different entities interface with them, discuss their budgets, and so on and so forth. The Parliamentary Commission met the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee on 13th January 2025 regarding the budget of the Commission. I'm a member of the Commission. I was not invited for this meeting, as has been the case with many other meetings. One of the members in the committee asked, because it was in the Speaker's boardroom, she was present with 2 or 3 commissioners. When one of the members on the committee asked whether I had been informed, one of the commissioners said, yes, I had been informed. And I kept wondering how. Because commission meetings are not handled through hearsay in the corridors. An invitation is meant to be written so that I know, but I did not know about this. And that commissioner said I had been invited. I do not know how. So I thought this should be on record because it's important that we are transparent how we operate. It is problematic that some members of the commission will be locked out when critical issues like our budgets are being discussed. Honorable Speaker, we do not get to be members of the commission on anyone's invitation. It is by law. So I thought that would be clarified because I know that our budget is part of what we are discussing. Some of us were not party to this. Maybe, right, Honorable Speaker, as Deputy Speaker, you got an invitation but sent apologies. I don't know. In my case, there was no such situation. And I don't know why we keep doing the same thing, because it shows there are certain things we are hiding, and yet there should be nothing being hidden. I thank you.